We're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Blood on the Bayou, the Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle we're playing here on Final Show Films. My name is Julia, and I will be your storyteller for the evening. I'm joined by a wonderful group of people for tonight. We will start our introductions with Shawnee.
Sorry, I was blanking for a second. Hi, I'm Shawnee, and I'm playing Guaya Vincente, the Asamite sorceress.
And Drevian.
I'm Drevian. I am playing Simon DeLuca, the Malkavian Tailor.
And Austin.
Hi, I'm Austin. I'll be playing Rahab, the Kaitif nurse.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Catriona, lawyer for Clan Giovanni.
Katie.
Hi, my name is Katie. I'm playing Mercy Ransom, the Toreador tour guide.
And our special guest star for the evening, Elle.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I'm playing Lorraine Walters, the Tremere person to be determined.
All right. So, as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, eat the rich, fuck the Supreme Court. Anything else?
No job is worth your mental health.
Does that cover the marry portion of 8 Fuck Kill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we get in tonight, I want to say that the beginning of this episode is going to be a long cutscene. So there's going to be a lot of me talking. As much as you usually like to not pay attention to me, I highly suggest you listen into the cutscene that is being told. And I also want to say that I am not a Civil War historian, so any dates or any names of battles that I may miss or misattribute is entirely my own fault, and I will take blame for those. But I will also blame the American education system. So, when last we left off, Rahab and Kat had a meeting with Elena Moreau, the Crimson Mask, the Toreador Primogen, where they learned a bit more about Mercy/Delilah. Having learned that not only had Mercy been involved in a number of high-profile murders during the Civil War, but also murdered Elena's sire while mortal. Similarly, if I can talk, across town in the Bayou, Guire sat with Azra and caught her up on everything that had been going on since her tenure in the employ of the Tremere and then the Sabbat had occurred. Azra asked a few questions. Guire gave as much information as she was able to, and really just delighted in having her loved one back home with her. Meanwhile, Mercy was contacted by Destiny and informed about a rash of missing persons that encompassed an entire hotel room floor. Thinking that potentially there might be some lead there because the pattern just seems too good to be true. Also potentially pointing towards Clan Malkavian due to their predilection with numbers and patterns. Destiny suggested to Mercy that she ask Simon for any additional information or any possible leads. Meanwhile, at Simon's place of business, Simon and Alexander worked a bit on the tomes that they had liberated from the Tremere Chantry, trying to figure out what secrets they might hold, and eventually ended up figuring out what they were looking at was some form of spell. They then contacted Guire and Kat and made their way to Kat's house. Guire and Azra eventually joined as well, Kat having a little bit of annoyance at the extra +1s that joined the party. And the group discovered that they were holding a mage's grimoire of a mage from House Flambeau. What this means to them, absolutely nothing in the current state of affairs. But it could be useful down the road. And then, with one final guest showing up at Kat's house, Kat's Aunt Nina and two of her other fellow clan members showed up to deal with the doorway. While the two gentlemen went upstairs with Guire, Kat's Aunt Nina was asked to help Mercy with a bit of her memory problems. At which point, Nina had her sit down and listen to her, imagining a long hallway with a door at the end that Mercy knew was locked, but was able to open anyway, which flooded her full of memories, which is where we will be beginning tonight. And I'm waiting for reactions the moment I finish this sentence.
Oh dear.
Delilah Moreau was born in 1838 in a small log cabin roughly 5 miles north of the Arkansas and Louisiana border, to Dr. James Moreau and Miss Cassandra Moreau. The youngest of 3 children, she had a fairly uneventful upbringing until she reached schooling age, at which point she excelled in world studies and literature, although she took a particular interest in history and geography. Delilah's life took a bizarre turn when war broke out between the states, and her family, obviously choosing a side and not wanting to be traitors to their locale, joined the Confederacy. Delilah never really agreed with the sentiments of slavery, and as such chose to stay out of the political conflict and focus on her studies. Her brother Thomas, however, taught her a fair bit of saber work and how to shoot as an act of rebellion, with a little prodding from Delilah herself. One of the harshest blows Delilah felt in her early life was the news of Thomas's passing in the Battle of Pea Ridge. 3 bullets in the torso and 2 in the head took Delilah's best friend away from her. The Confederacy only gave her family a letter, a folded Confederate flag, and her brother's cavalry saber as memorials. A couple of months went by with Delilah living... No, but hold on. I skipped a paragraph. Delilah sank into a deep depression for several months, which only worsened with the disappearance of her older sister midway through the 2nd month of her episode. Feeling she had nothing left, Delilah lost a small amount of touch with the world and absconded from her family home, fleeing to the Union States. A couple of months went by with Delilah living on the streets, and she made her way through and into a military battalion in the Union Army. She stole the uniform of a fallen soldier and continued in his place, choosing to back the Union because the Confederacy did nothing for her family and took away her brother. Her identity wasn't found out for a good number of months. Eventually, higher-ups took notice of her kill count and her expertise with both gun and saber. Delilah was tapped for a secret organization simply known as the Broken Blade, a small rebellion of both Union and Confederate soldiers who were aligning themselves with the goal of ending the war as quickly as possible. Instead of large-scale battles, they chose to focus on pinpoint assassination techniques. Their best work was in assassinating political leaders right before big battles took place. Delilah rose quickly within the ranks of the secret organization she had joined, and she was given the names of a few high-ranking soldiers within both armies. Delilah, simply known at the time as the Angel of Mercy, buried herself in her work, losing a bit of herself along the way. Delilah would often be a patron of any bar or tavern that would have her on a cold night, and on one of her regular drinking nights, Delilah thought she saw a ghost. Sitting in the corner with a rather sharp-dressed, tall blonde gentleman was her older sister. Delilah waited a few moments and watched it, and sat and just basically confirmed that it was her sister. In fact, her older sister, Elena. Confronting her, she learned that Elena had run away from her family to avoid an arranged marriage that their parents had set up so that she could be with her one true love, Mr. Elliot Hollingsworth. Delilah, of course, was taken aback by the whole thing, not having known much of any of it, being too caught up in her own depression at the time due to her brother's death. This, of course, led to a sisterly spat between the two of them, at which point Elliot stepped in and told Delilah that it was best for her to be on her way. After coming to back in her army tent, she realized that something had not fit right into the equation of the night. She lost roughly an hour of time and was back where she was before going to the bar to begin with. She didn't understand her sister's choice, and she couldn't help but notice how much happier and eerily vibrant looking Elena had become. The next day, Delilah was given orders to hunt down and exterminate Elliot Hollingsworth at the next battle they were involved in. It all came to a head in a skirmish along the Mississippi, where Delilah came toe-to-toe with Elliot in the midst of battle. He was a whirlwind of blade and bullet, and although he moved incredibly fast, still took a great number of shots during the fray, and Delilah, having been given Elliot's name, watched him like a hawk dancing in between her own fights and bouts of swordplay and gunfire. Delilah chose a particular moment to strike and wasn't sure how she was going to pull it off, but she knew when Elliot stopped moving in between attacks, that would be her moment to strike. And as she did so, her blade went through Elliot's neck, and in one solid motion, she kicked Elliot into the Mississippi. And the only things that Delilah was able to hear were the pounding of her own heart and the screams of her sister. Elena, going immediately into a frenzy, charged to the battlefield, running atop the water of the Mississippi to tackle Delilah. There were a few front punches thrown. Delilah tried her best to dodge, and in between all the screaming and the slamming and punching, she could see just faintly that Elena was crying blood. And in that moment, she let her guard down out of confusion. And after a moment, realized in horror what started next. As Elena plunged her fangs into Delilah's neck. Delilah awoke sometime later, propped against a tree far from the battle. The first thing she noticed was that she wasn't breathing and didn't need to. The second thing she noticed was her sister sitting across from her, blood-tattered clothing as she rocked back and forth. Elena explained to her what she had done and that she had sired her as a kindred and doomed her to a life of unhappiness in the dark. Seeing this as a moment of redemption, Elena did her best to train her sister for a number of months, but thought it best to part ways. Delilah and Elena had a touch-and-go relationship from then on until roughly the late teens of the 20th century, where Delilah and Elena ran into each other once again in New Orleans. The two of them fought. Delilah always, of course, throwing it in Elena's face that she should have simply let her die at the battle, and let her die with honor instead of living how she is now. Elena finally reaching the end of her rope, let loose something in her hand that Delilah did not recognize. And as blood flowed from Elena's wrist to the floor, she told her, "You will not come back to New Orleans. You will leave. You will run, and I will not see you again. And you will forget everything. And I mean everything. The one thing I will give you is the name Mercy, because it's the one thing you didn't give to those around you." Delilah, who eventually became Mercy Ransom, did her best to stay out of New Orleans for a long time, taking odd jobs here and there, just sort of floating about the state until roughly the passing of the new millennium. At which point, she thought, why the hell not? And one thing led to another, and she started a tour guide business. She bought a hearse. She bought a house. And she thought, for just the briefest of seconds, that everything seemed to be going right. Mercy. Well, I guess everyone else in the room. As those of you who are still in the room, as Nina says, open the door, Mercy's body goes slack. And there's a good 5 minutes where she looks more like a corpse than she ever has. Anytime someone goes to touch Mercy, Nina simply holds a hand to them. After another 5 minutes, Mercy wakes up. Those of you who were active and awake,
Yep.
She is crying blood.
Yep. Not sure. Waiting on the results, but I'm pretty sure it'll be negative.
You're not muted.
You're not muted.
You're not muted.
Had done today.
Can we?
It's okay. I got it.
Yeah, Foresight in Blacktown. They said it should be by midnight at the latest.
I think I can mute.
I know the movie.
Oh, I'm here. There we go.
Okay. All right.
You're
Mercy.
right. Sorry, go ahead.
Mercy, go ahead and write 9th generation on your character sheet.
Fantastic.
Now you may continue.
Mercy, are you all right?
My sister. My sister. Why? Why? I don't understand.
Cat's gonna look around to everybody else with a somebody step in, I am not good at the emotions expression.
So about this moment, Simon's not in the room. He followed the other two upstairs, was disappointed when nothing happened, comes back down, and just that's a lot of emotions. And before resorting to the magical means, just kind of like tries to get Mercy to just like steady their breathing.
Nobody touch me, please.
No, Simon's not touching you. It's just like,
Just a general no.
okay.
You're muted, Austin.
The moment that Simon starts to do any movement towards her, Rahab is going to walk up, grab Simon on the shoulder, and slowly pull him out of the room.
Good, because Cat was about to start yelling.
I believe Guire's upstairs with the mirror, so
Yes.
Well, shit.
No, it's Cat's problem.
Mercy, what do you need?
I need to. Okay, let me try to explain. I mean, there's a lot to explain. Delilah was my name. My family sided with the Confederacy. I didn't agree. My brother, who was my best friend and taught me everything I know, was lost in battle, and all we ever got was a fucking flag. My sister ran away. I was alone. I defected to the north.
Okay.
Only to find out in a crowded bar I did the whole. Did you see the movie Milan?
Animated films are not my thing.
Okay, the whole.
So weird for me to say. It's me.
Okay, the whole. I pretended to be male, enlisted in the Union Army. Was eventually found out, but instead of being, executed, was recruited as a spy. I had the nickname the Angel of Mercy.
Okay, things are coming into focus.
Oh, you're gonna love this next part. I was in a crowded bar between jobs, hits, as it were, when across the bar, I saw my sister, Elena. Elena, who had escaped an arranged marriage to run off with Elliot Hollingsworth.
Okay.
The very next day, I got my next assignment. 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count.
Right.
So there were sabers and guns. I cut him across the neck and kicked him into the Mississippi. Elena turned me in an act of spite so I'd never be happy again. To live a life of misery. And she told me to stay the hell out of New Orleans, which I did for 60, 70 years.
Mhm.
And when she found out I came back, something happened and she said, "You will forget everything." "You will forget everything, but I will give you mercy as the one thing you can remember." And here I am. I built Mercy Ransom from the ground up. And Elena was my sister.
So what I'm hearing from this is, based on this coterie, it is a bad idea to be a kindred with a relative named Elaine. Fair.
That's one conclusion you could draw, yes.
So she wiped your memories after you came back.
Yes.
And yet seemed somehow surprised.
Maybe I messed up that order. I did. I apologize.
In the 1910s,
1910 was when okay.
Your memory was erased, and you came back in the.
Yeah, she erased my. It's new having a memory. I apologize.
No. That is entirely understandable.
She wiped your memory and told you to stay out of New Orleans, and you did for a while, and then forgot why you were staying out. So eventually, you came back.
That.
So
it's like an Alzheimer's patient who forgot that they had Alzheimer's and cured it.
And you forgive me for disparaging family, but your dumb bitch of a sister thought that erasing your memory would somehow lead to you staying away forever.
I mean,
giving you a command and then erasing your. Wow. Short-sighted.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that
okay.
Elena was always incredibly rash.
That is fair. That is entirely fair. So now that you know this, what do you want now?
All I want is the life I've built for myself.
Right.
I accept who I was, and I'm not ashamed of who I was. But that was a lifetime ago.
Of course. My question is more around the idea of hard truths. Number one, I don't think it is viable based on the hostility that she has displayed. With the backstory that you have provided, I'm not sure how viable it is for the two of you to be in the same city at the same time. And also, and this is where it might get very conflicted for you, but it needs to be brought up.
It's a moment of truth, Knight. Go ahead.
We know that your sister's status in this city may be very imperiled by people that she is working with, willingly or not. This does not make these current revelations don't make that situation and what we might do about it any easier, I'm sure. But regarding that, what do you want?
As far as what I want to happen to Elena?
As far as, yes. I understand family is family, and there are elements of that that are hard to get away from.
No, listen. This is, and I swear this is not a corny mercy vampire joke, so you're just going to have to excuse me for just a moment. But family isn't about blood.
Of course. I understand that is the case for many people.
As far as I'm concerned, I will always care deeply for Elena, but as far as I'm concerned, that's not family.
Okay.
Not anymore. I don't know who. She has the same name, but if she's thrown her league in with people who are going to destroy the city, then that's the choice she made.
In fairness, we don't know whether that's willing or not at this point. It
I'm
could
just
be
saying,
unwitting.
I'm just saying, if it is willing, then she casts her lot.
Mm-hmm. Here's where there is an opportunity for you. If you want to take it, I feel like it is our nature to take these kinds of things, mine especially so. But having been fucked over by her for 100+ years, well over that, there is the opportunity to get a sense at least of moral revenge and perhaps even get her underneath your thumb a little bit.
I'm listening.
If you argue her, if we can figure out whether, if it was willing, there's nothing that can be done. She's willingly working with us about, we know our prince and we know how she's going to deal with that. We've specifically had to try and mitigate that problem because of how impulsive we've been worried she'll be about that. But if it's unwitting, you argue her case to the prince, and you have literally potentially saved her life, and now she owes you. Or at the very least, if she doesn't owe you, she has to go on continue existing knowing that that's only because of you, and that will weigh on her in the most delightful ways. There are reasons my Elena is still alive.
I'm enjoying this.
So
Just saying.
Our camera switches to the attic. Guire and Azra, you are joined by two gentlemen who, as soon as they enter the attic, after you have allowed them entry, start pulling occult-looking accoutrement from pockets. One walks over to a table that Kat has set up, starts taking a few things out of jars, crushing some stuff up in a mortar and pestle, and sprinkles a nice reddish black dust in a perimeter around the mirror. Okay, so this is the portal to hell?
Something like it.
Have you touched it?
Not if I could help it. I did have to lug it on my back the entire way here, but you know.
Then did you feel if it had any residual, any sort of...
Was it magically resonant at the time that I was carrying it?
No, it just felt like a mirror.
Didn't seem to do much at the time that I was carrying it, no.
All right.
But as far as I understand, it is sort of incomplete.
And the other one reaches over and just sort of grabs it and then immediately lets go. And there is a scream. Not too loud, just a very quick reaction to pain.
Ah!
As you see where he touched, a line of red just goes through the cracks and collects in the small hole that is the triangular shaped piece that should be fit there.
Maybe don't do that again.
You were had 2 years ago, not 2 days ago. Make it look like it. He just puts on gloves. I can tell you one thing. That's not supposed to. That shouldn't. That's. I don't like that.
Yeah, neither do we. And can we get it out of the city, please?
We're going to do our best.
While the person who's looking for it doesn't find it.
I would ask. You know, I don't even want to know.
You really don't.
So the two of them start to lug this down. They pick it up and start lugging it down the stairs. They're not quiet about it. There's all this heartfelt, emotional stuff happening in the basement. There's a bunch of banging and
fuck shit. Pivot.
The always the equivalent trying to move the couch up through the yep. Turn it this way and can you get underneath there and hold it? Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're going about this all wrong. If we take out the cushions, remove the sleeper bed, and unscrew the God, what are they called? The pegs, then this will all be super easy.
The bad part is the emotional stuff's not even happening in the basement. It's in the main room.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Alexander Ward's in the basement.
Mm-hmm. We don't talk. So, after about 5-10 minutes of fooling around, they end up getting it into the back of another U-Haul.
Fucking good enough for me.
U-Haul's doing a lot of business.
That thing's Ventru owned probably anyways.
So, clean it up.
Guire looks to Azra. I'm gonna ride with this thing until it makes it to the city limits to make sure it actually gets out. Do you want to come with, or you want to watch everyone else?
I haven't seen you in 80 years. I'm going with you.
Fair enough.
She will hop into the back of the U-Haul.
As this thing is leaving the house, Rahab's going to who's the nearest person to approach who's not having an emotional crisis?
The one that you drug out with you?
There's either Simon or Kat's Aunt Nina has just sort of been sitting watching everything.
Turn to Simon. Open my mouth. Stop. Turn to Nina.
That is
maybe since you haven't been here this whole time, could you explain? We went to all the trouble to get this thing here, and now we're getting rid of it. Is this the best idea?
It will be better in the hands of the Giovanni.
Okay.
Simon looking at his phone. We just want it out of the city, away from the Sabbat.
It will be away from the Sabbat, I can guarantee that.
But I don't know, ancient evil artifact that might end an entire region of a fairly large country. Should it be with people who actually know how to use it? Because that actually seems dangerous.
Either the people that know how to use it or the people that want to use it, Guire says, as they're getting it outside.
exactly.
It's also the people that know the precautions needed to take to.
And just to clarify, taking a hammer to it wouldn't work?
No, it'd probably make everything much worse.
So that's plan C.
Sure.
Right?
Let me do you take a hammer to a warhead? I suppose is the question there. You might not set it off with just a hammer, but you're going to take the risk.
Yeah, it would be an amazing idea because nuclear warheads require a lot of complex mechanical and chemical things to work. That's why so many nuclear warheads were dropped on testing zones and never detonated, because the brute impact of being dropped out of a plane wasn't enough to set them off.
Yeah. But do you
So
want to take
I think
the
it's
risk
exactly
of hitting,
like that.
But do you want to take the risk of hitting something sensitive when you don't know what that is?
Simon ignores their conversation and asks Nina if she knows anything about mage magic. Still looking at his phone to see if he got a response from Destiny.
No.
Well, if
In
that's
this-
gone,
Yeah.
okay.
In this case, to use your analogy, the problem is that the fissionable material and the explosive that will set it off are not separate parts and are all the same thing. So if you hit one, if you risk detonating one, you risk detonating the whole thing.
It's not a nuclear warhead, it's a box of dynamite.
It's a little more accurate.
I already have a headache. Don't go starting her on a box of dynamite now. Jesus.
I'm just
I mean, a
asking,
box
if
of
you're going to
dynamite
make an
is-
artifact of incredible evil potential, why do you have to make it so hard to destroy?
Because the person making it wanted it to be used and not broken.
Also, this isn't necessarily, it has potential for great evil. Doesn't necessarily mean this. To be clear, when I say this does not mean that it is going to be used. But that's not its sole purpose.
Yeah, people say that about guns too, but we still need gun laws.
Absolutely. And you
So-
keep guns with the people who know best how to be safe around it.
Okay, is the timing of this conversation while I'm still having my crisis, or can I back to your?
I was having it separate away from that.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
Unless that was resolved and you've come out into the room.
No, this would have been the way this times out. It would have been a little after the revelation.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, you guys just kind of walked by us with the mirror on the couch.
Did someone stub their toe on the couch on the way through?
Sorry, just you're gonna come through here with that mirror. That looks weird. And we're gonna
yeah. Of note, a full crate of dynamite is another idea of what you could do for revenge, but that's a little bit that I think you might prefer the elegance of my version better.
There is a certain elegance to it, although dynamite would be satisfying.
Oh,
But
it always is.
But only briefly.
Yes. It's in the safest hands it can be in right now.
So we are done here then.
And
I believe
I'm not letting it out of my sight until it's actively left the city limits. So if someone decides to try and ambush it on the way out, I will be there to at least put a sword in the way.
Oh, good. That means that I don't have to. Thank you.
I'll be honest with you, Kat. I don't think you can deflect bullets.
No, I can't. But when the Methuselah shows up, I can run away and at least warn someone. That was literally my entire plan. So,
I mean, now that I can remember shit, apparently I'm really good with a sword.
Do you remember any of that muscle memory?
Give me a sword. Let's find out.
Also,
the reaction, I guess.
Fight at the scene.
unless I'm misremembering, far closer to Kane than you used than we initially believed you to be.
What's that?
Closer to, further up the line than we believed you to be, unless I'm misremembering things.
Oh shit.
You know, Elena was 8th generation.
Yeah. And you had said something like 11th or 12th or something like that.
I thought I was 12th. Now I'm
Good news.
9th?
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, you're a step further down than I am.
Well, thanks, Squire.
Step higher up than I am.
That, I mean,
Fix you with a look.
I mean, let's all be honest, I was a step higher in a lot of ways.
I'm not the one who just about had an emotional breakdown at someone you barely know's house. Simon.
I am going to grab Simon again and say, Simon, why don't we go to your shop? I have a friend to pick up from the museum next door, and you probably need to oversee the work on that suit. Let's go.
We should also grab Alex from the basement then. And
Yeah,
Simon also text Destiny that the Giovannis have picked up the MacGuffin.
That blunder has just been going that whole time.
Yes, please get the traitorous wizard out of my basement, please, if you could.
Everyone
walks
hears
over,
a
turns
gun
off.
cock.
Simon walks over to the door, turns off the blender. Alex, come on, time to go.
Sorry, storyteller just mentioned someone hears a gun cock. Sorry. Elaborate.
Simon doesn't care.
That would have been Nina.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm standing behind Nina. That makes me feel very safe.
But yeah, Simon turns off the blender, opens the basement door. Alex, time to head back to the shop.
He, as you open the door, he is literally 2 steps below just the door clearance.
Just standing just outside the door the entire time.
I heard the blender turn off. I assume we're good to go home then.
I am inside checking this motherfucker. How much does he know? We will see if he is leaving this basement.
That would be
Wits and empathy.
wits and empathy, difficulty 7.
Oh, I need to see this.
Simon will aura read him.
Wits, empathy.
What is the roll for us or perception?
Difficulty 7.
Bless you.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. Perfectly fine.
God, that's a bad botch.
Yeah, no, that's a full-on botch.
And that's 6 there, sitting right there with a middle finger up at you.
Of course it is. There's always got to be one that's just one off.
Four successes to read his aura, though.
Okay. I haven't had to look at auras in a hot minute. So, to do aspects. Currently, his aura is a mixture of violet and TV static. To those of you who are playing along at home, that is a mixture of excited and anxious.
Simon will very pointedly ask, like, have you just been standing there this entire time?
No.
Any changes?
I feel like even I know that's a lie.
I can read. What the fuck? I can do something. Hold on.
No, this is just straight up Simon trying to entrap him.
Just cut to the chase. How much did you hear?
Parsing out the blender. It was quiet for a hot minute, but I would have to say everything past my sister. She's my sister.
Simon looks at Kat.
Excuse us for one moment. I shut the
Turns
door in
back.
his face.
I take it he's not leaving, is he?
He's a liability and he needs silenced.
I'm
He was
looking
always
at
a
Guire.
liability.
How much do you need this one?
Guire just kind of looks at him. He's done me a good turn, and I'd hate to turn it back with a bad one, but
That's perfectly fine. You have an object to escort. I'm sure he will be perfectly fine when you come back, unless some random happenstance befalls him.
reminder that you're dealing with a Tremere who's actually like seasoned.
Halfway through the conversation, Simon turns the blender back on.
You're going to wear the motor out on that thing.
I can buy another one.
Why do you even have one?
Because occasionally I need to have conversations. And I don't trust anywhere, including my own home, to not be bugged.
Surely there were more efficient things than a blender.
Oh my God, can we stop debating about the blender
Thank you.
Get back to this fucking guy who's known my fucking life story? Can we please, like, I know this is ironic coming from me, but give him a memory wipe or something? At least a temporary one, not a big one, just like a little one. Like temporary amnesia.
And you all hear from the basement, I can still hear you.
Good.
We know.
Simon unplugs the blender.
We're giving you a chance to make your peace.
Simon unplugs the blender, picks it up, opens the door, throws it at him, and tells Alex to stop eavesdropping and closes the door again.
Okay, well, that blender was still good, so now you owe me a blender. But
that's assuming Alex doesn't catch it, and it just breaks or something.
Are we turning him into Destiny?
Listen,
Technically, he's already dead
listen.
as far as the camera relay is concerned.
Then it doesn't matter
Why-
what you do with him.
Why is he dangerous again exactly?
Well, now he knows shit.
And who's he going to tell?
Oh, I don't know. My sister, the traitor, Elena, the one who turned me, who's the head of the Toreador clan, who hates my guts and wipes my memory because I killed her sire.
Who you'll either be dealing with immediately, or if he does decide to tell anyone about that before that's resolved, he will die because
Plan
he'll be telling the
from
person who was
here?
an informant to the Sabbat.
You'd also have to go, like, try to communicate with her in some way. He hasn't been allowed to go anywhere.
I'm just stating that, like, I don't think he has anywhere to go. If he likes living, he's probably best off moving several states away and pretending that he doesn't know anything.
That's what I'm saying. Cognitive recalibration and put him on a plane and drop him somewhere.
That's a
Good
question for
point.
Nina. I have a mirror to escort Gwiat says as she
Yeah,
walks
please,
out.
Get that shit out of here. No, DB Cooper his ass. Just send him up in a plane and like with a parachute and just like, hey, good luck.
Yeah, except Cooper didn't get a parachute. At least not one that worked.
Look, this is, and I'm sorry, we should clarify here. Everything being now known what you know. Which name do you prefer?
Mercy is the name I chose, and Mercy's the name I'm going to keep.
Perfect. Mercy, this is your situation. This is your information potentially that's on the line. Now, there is also a little bit of the fact that he knows where the mirror is ending up that concerns me, but let's be honest, they're going to find out anyways. It's just whether they want to actually just go to Vienna. What do you want to do? If you want him to let go and maybe we wipe his mind, if that's possible. We don't know how old he is.
And just ask him if he has any intention of telling Elena.
I don't believe anybody anymore. I'm sorry.
I don't have to believe him. He can't hide lying in his aura.
But not everybody can read auras.
I mean, I can. I have no reason to lie what his response is. Also, can't you read auras?
I can. But that's just...
So you can confirm for yourself whether he's lying then.
Well, yes, but I'm not going to follow his ass around to see if he's lying or telling the truth or who he's telling.
Yes. And there is
Honestly,
a difference between do you intend to do it now and will he end up doing it later?
Fair.
I can... Especially since it was done to me, I really don't want to do that to somebody else. But at this point, it's my life is on the line.
At least until Elena is dealt with.
Precisely. You know, as they say in the movies, he knows too much.
That is... I'm going to do that thing that annoys you when I do it, and I'm going to be a lawyer, and I am going to go up to my my workroom, and whatever happens is going to happen, and I am completely unaware of it.
Mid-sentence
So
there.
if you would
Simon's
like to have a conversation with somebody about potentially mind wiping or whatever, that is entirely outside my control. And I turn and I'm walking up the stairs.
Midway through that sentence, Simon actually throws open the basement door and half hollers at him, Alex, what happens if those books aren't back? Are we gonna have Tremere hunting us for those books?
Not you.
Okay. Closes the door again.
Poor Alex. So yeah, I go upstairs. I'm just letting whatever happens, and hoping that my house does not burn down or something.
Simon will go with Cat.
I'm okay. Who's still with me?
I think Rahab.
Rahab.
Rahab and Nina.
Nina.
Do you want his mind wiped?
I need you to be honest with me, Nina. Do I have a choice?
You have several. You can let him go and trust him and hope that he does not turn on you. You can let him go and know that he'll turn on you. You can wipe his memory. You can kill him. You have a lot of choices.
You know, and maybe this. I'm not my sister. I'm not going to doom somebody to a life of not knowing who they are. The greatest mercy I can give him is death.
And why is that your choice? Whether he lives or dies.
I have had to live for centuries because somebody else wanted revenge. That was not my choice. It's not always about choice. And sometimes both choices are bad and you still have to choose. And you can give me a sermon later, you can give me a Bible story, you can talk at me all you want to. I'm already condemned. Okay, we all are. I'm already condemned. The nicest thing I can do for this man is death. So at least he doesn't have to live a life not knowing who he is.
I can just get rid of the last 30 minutes.
Nina?
You didn't ask.
You didn't list that among the choices, Nina.
Tomato, potato.
You let me do an entire dramatic monologue in this really epic moment. In that's your response.
It's so fitting that the Toreador is more concerned about the dramatics of the moment.
Right?
He just opens the basement door. Alexander makes eye contact. And you see him just sort of go slack for a second. He still holds everything he's got a hold of, including the blender. Now, turn around walk downstairs, sit on the cot, and wait for 30 minutes. Then you can come back up. Close door, and you hear the sounds of footsteps receding into the basement. Your secret is safe, and you don't have to kill anyone. But the lesson there that I taught you is that you know that you can. She would just sort of pat your face and start walking out of the house.
That may be the most Italian / Giovanni thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's a compliment. Thank you.
I meant it as one.
So, Mercy,
Yes.
your phone vibrates.
Oh, goody.
And we switch scenes. Guire, you were in the back of a moving U-Haul truck with Azra.
Yep. And a big mirror.
Yes. Which Azra has not taken her eyes off of, and notice that both of her knives are out and just on her lap.
Guire walks over to the back of the truck where anyone would try to enter, and just puts a hand on the floor, and another one of those markings just sort of flashes into existence on the ground and then fades out.
You certain that everything's going to be fine?
I'm never certain. Wrong accent. I'm never really certain, but all I can do is make the best decision I can in the moment, and getting this as far away from the uncertainly ancient, but definitely much older than any of us, La Sombra looking to awaken her not very distant ancestor out of the Shadowlands is perhaps the best move I can make right now.
I can't disagree with you. But why the blood?
This? Oh, it's a surprise. If anyone...
No. That she will point to the mirror with her dagger.
Oh, good question. I don't like it.
I don't either. Which how are they even going to use? You know what? I don't pretend to understand Sybil. I just follow in instructions.
She looks over.
Going
Azra.
to have to get used to that.
All right.
Freedom is interesting.
What was the control like?
In your mortal life, did you ever get drunk?
Occasionally. I couldn't afford to get too drunk, considering, but...
There is a moment when you're drinking where it's actually very fun, but highly disconcerting, where you can see yourself do everything, but can't stop yourself from being stupid. It was like that, except murder.
Hmm.
I was told a directive, and I followed the directive.
Do you have
No matter
any,
what I thought.
Did you have any agency between orders, or?
A bit, but generally I just sort of remained in stasis. On standby.
Well, I know how I would feel in regards to that kind of situation if I had been woken up from it, but how are you doing?
I've been better. But I will say that it is nice being back with you.
It's nice to have you back. So, first order of business is Morgan. Second order of business is civil.
I don't know how we're going to defeat her. We'll be lucky to beat that 2-bit fraud she has as a lackey.
I think it's all about cashing in the right trap.
I don't know. Alexei is very observant. And a lot smarter than he gives off.
So it's got to be the right trap. Something that they walk into willingly.
I don't.
The best way to catch a genius is using their own intellect against them. If they think that they figured everything out, they'll string themselves up.
So then what do you suggest?
They're gonna discover my duplicity if they haven't already. When they come for me, or when we're supposed to meet them next, and they try and reveal that they've figured out that I've been deceiving them the entire time, they'll feel the desire to either strike quickly if they believe that I'm a threat, or if they don't, they'll want to gloat about how they determined exactly what I was doing when they found out that I was a traitor. It's all a matter of controlling when that happens and making sure that everything's in place to take advantage of it.
Then you remembered everything I taught you. Well, things seem to be pretty figured out at this point.
It's only a matter of time.
Guire, I need a dexterity and athletics check from you.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Difficulty 8, please.
Oh fuck.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
I spend a willpower on this.
Yes.
Oh, I gotta see this.
3 successes.
Okay. You catch Azra and manage to not catch her blades as the entire truck goes to the right. As your back hits solid ground and the entire thing skids to a halt. Mercy.
Yes.
That text message you got
Mm-hmm.
is a address from Destiny.
Okay.
It lists, let me double check where I put this. Actually, go over here, check this thing. Good to do. It is a address in the Colonnade, which is actually not too far from where you guys are at. If I remember which part of New Orleans I put this at. Bless you. Actually, not too far down from Simon's. At a place called. It is one of the shops of the Colonnade.
Okay.
He gives you the address. Says, a message reads, address. This is a lead. Follow it, please. This is concerning the 35 missing people.
A text back. Noted. Am I allowed to share with group?
Please.
I put it in the group chat.
So Simon, Kat, and Rahab all get that.
Okay. I come downstairs.
Also comes downstairs. And
Looks
puts
like
into the chats like, I think I know where that is.
Like we have a job to do.
Everybody in the hearse?
First it is.
That I can do.
Simon will, in the group chat, like specifically pinging Guire's like, you're gonna meet us, like, are you planning on meeting us there after escort?
Phone is going off as I am tumbling on the side of the truck.
Ours a little busy.
Speaking of, camera shifts back.
So as Guire hits the ground, she immediately, on reflex, flops a hand out and slaps what is the new ground of the truck, and the ward that had been on what was the floor disappears, and a new one appears on what is now the floor, and then vanishes as it becomes almost impossible to spot.
There is a brief moment where sort of the dust settles. Azra pulls back her hand, which is bleeding. As she pulls it off of the mirror, which has fallen with you.
Oh no.
That's. I hope they got insurance. She will stand.
Guire just like pushes the mirror off with her foot.
There is a small pool of blood about a third of the way up that crack.
Let's not let that thing fill up.
Agreed. And there is a horrific wrenching sound as the back doors are ripped open. Well. That was a little easier than I thought.
Is it Alexei on the other side?
Mm-hmm. It is Alexei and a large gentleman you have not encountered before, about 6'5", African-American male, in just a plain t-shirt and blue jeans tucked into work boots.
Oh no.
Well, wasn't expecting that one, Alexei. Guire says as she makes a show of standing up, pushing the mirror back, and pulling Azra back with her.
Well, undoubtedly, I thought you might be surprised. I didn't actually expect to find you with the mirror, though. Well, that was a twist.
Sometimes you gotta see a job done right.
Well, I am unfortunately going to have to take that off of your hands sooner rather than later, and sooner now, because the matriarch is on her way, and I really don't want to have to kill a member of Clan Giovanni that I've personally met.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to come take it then, she says as she stands up and just twists the cane and pulls the blade out.
I'm going to have to. And he pulls out a pair of gloves, starts putting them on. I'm going to have certain words with a small child when I get back. This is upsetting because I did like you.
I'll be honest, I never really liked you.
And the camera will switch back. As our crew pulls up to a shop in the colonnade with a hand-painted sign over the top of it.
Before they would have actually have driven over there, Simon would have commented like, why? Like, it's weird that Guire hasn't responded.
No, it's not.
Not really.
This is actually right on brand for Guire. The amount of times that we have texted Guire and they just don't respond.
I usually, more often than not, I've gotten responses.
Well, aren't you lucky?
Unless Guire is doing something dangerous, in which case she seems to revel in not telling us how it's going. I'm sure she's fine, and if the entire city of New Orleans goes up in smoke, we'll know she's not.
And if Guire is not fine, there is very little we can do to help her.
Yes, let's focus on what we are capable of.
So, as the group pulls up to the shop, there's a large hand-painted sign over top of it that simply reads, "The Strangeatorium."
Catchy.
There's a small closed sign that, as you are pulling up, is flipped to open.
Looks like we've been expected.
Yep.
Parks the
Let's
hearse.
do it. Yep.
Let's go.
So, Elle, please describe the inside of your shop.
It kind of looks like if you had a library and then put bombs in it and set them off. Just there is a lot of mess with still being a sense of like aisles or at least a path to traverse. But there are like all kinds of weird types of paraphernalia, like masks and portraits and obviously fake statues of Yetis. Just a lot of random shit. There's Christmas decorations that look like they've been up for a good 6 years.
Charming.
Lived in.
Hello.
Hello, welcome, purveyors of the supernatural and unforeseen. Welcome to the Strangeatorium.
There's just a moment of staring, and then Kat just looks down to her phone and texts in the group thread, Simon, vampire check this one.
Is Simon aware of the owner of the shop?
Roll me intelligence and streetwise difficulty 7.
You can also aura read vampires show up as vampires.
That is true.
Oh, is the person actually within line of sight?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're in the shop.
I wasn't sure they were tucked behind other stuff or not.
Oh,
Yeah, they might have like
Oh,
been
that
behind a
makes-
I
curtain
mean,
or
that is
something.
absolutely fair
that
too.
makes sense. Okay, I didn't think of that.
Oh, okay. If they're within line of sight, then 2
Pay,
successes.
pay no
for
attention
Laura.
to the kindred behind the curtain.
Ha!
Yes, that is definitely a vampire aura.
Intelligence, streetwise, to see what Simon knows about them.
Yes. Difficulty 7.
If I can find streetwise, they're streetwise. It'll be so-
It starts with an S and ends with an E.
1 success on that one.
Okay. You've heard of this shop before? You've never been in here. You've never really had any interactions, but you were told that the woman who owns it is named Lorraine, and that is as much as you remember at this current moment.
Simon in the group chat responds, lady, like vampire lady named Lorraine.
Yep.
And goes back to looking at all the other stuff around.
It's a
Sorry, go
pleasure
ahead.
to meet. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Mercy Ransom, and you are?
Lorraine Walters. Charmed.
To be sure.
If I may be blunt and ask, what clan are you?
Pardon? I don't know what you mean.
Sorry, let me be clearer here. My name is Catriona of Clan Giovanni. What clan are you?
I mean, if you're referring to those ruffians in some of the other states, no affiliation.
Simon again looks at the aura.
Double check. This was a vampire, right?
Yep.
All
That's a
right,
vampire aura.
let me put it in a different way.
But also just like the general mood while trying to make that statement.
Ah,
You are aware that you're a vampire, correct?
Look, between you and me, there's no such thing. Right? This is just a show that I put on for the more tourists type.
I open my mouth and let my fangs grow down.
Simon, in response, also comments, it's not a masquerade breach if they're dead.
I happen to know a little bit about, the whole like show and tourism and, proprietary, notions. Yeah, it's not a story. And if it is, you're in it.
I apologize for the bluntness of my compatriots.
Stop.
Double checking the text. Why are we here again?
Investigating the disappearance of 35 people.
Yeah,
Yes. And who told us to?
Vampires.
I'm trying to figure out. Sorry, the text was from.
Destiny.
Destiny.
We were told to come here by an individual named Destiny. I'm assuming you know Destiny.
I know a lot of things, yes. If I wanted to do the heightened senses to try and, I guess, emphasize hearing for heartbeats.
That would be perception and alertness.
Alrighty.
Whatever the normal difficulty is, reduce it by your dots in
Aspects.
Aspects.
in aspects.
So it would normally be difficulty 8, make it difficulty 6.
We have more aura readers.
Yep.
Discuss.
Okay, so you do hear. It's faint. No, wait, brain. No, you don't hear anything.
Of note, let me check something to be sure here.
Oh, your blush of.
Yeah, I need to read the specifics on this.
I believe it's like a weak pulse if you have Blush of Health.
I also have that.
No, it actually doesn't have heartbeats.
Oh, it
You
does.
just look like him. You just look mortal. But
You
no,
look mortal,
you
but
still don't have a heartbeat.
anything closer than visual inspection still doesn't hold up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no heartbeats.
Simon notably doesn't even take visual inspection. He's just pale.
I'm going to assume that you are all among the unliving, shall we say.
You would be correct.
Yes. Like we just said.
Well, you must understand, one can never take too many precautions. In which case, allow me to actually introduce myself. Just double checking there's no one else that I can see other than the people in front of me.
Nope.
Lorraine Walters of Clan Shamir.
All right.
Does Simon have Alex's phone number?
I think the only one that actually has it is Guire.
I think so.
It's like during the entire thing, like, would there have been a moment where would have had it? Would be the question. Would have got it. Because they spent most of the night together working on stuff. With Simon on his phone, like 80% of that.
I mean, the good news is he's still sitting down in the basement because I believe it's like a 10-minute drive, less than that.
Yeah.
From my house to this general vicinity.
Yeah.
So
yes. I did a roll. Yes, you would have gotten his number.
Simon texts him, "What do you know of a Lorraine Walters?"
Okay. You will get a response to that at some point. 2 to 5 business days.
Continues browsing all the stuff.
Lorraine, we are here on behalf of Destiny, looking into the disappearance of a vast quantity of people out of a hotel. Do you know anything about that?
Not that I'm aware of, no. I mean, this is a very large country. It's a lot of people.
Simon looks back at Lorraine with aura perception to see if there's lies in that aura.
Okay, give me your perception and empathy difficulty 8.
And it's a perception check, so -2 for the heightened senses.
Yep.
None that time.
Can I try?
Yes.
Perception and what?
Empathy.
Perception and empathy.
Difficulty 8 reduced by your aspects.
Yep.
Oh, now I have to go back and find my aspects. Jesus. Okay. 8 take away my aspects?
Yeah, 8. Reduce the 8 by your aspects. So whatever your aspects rating is, it reduces the difficulty.
Gotcha. Okay. Empathy.
One. Lorraine, how would you describe your current emotional status?
Um, suspicious, I believe.
Okay, so her aura is dark blue.
Look, Lorraine, I can show you my phone if you want me to see that we are here on behalf of Destiny. I understand the air of suspicion, believe me. But is it 25 or 35?
35.
But 35 people have disappeared, and the clock is ticking.
And we assume that they have either become food or foot soldiers for those who would like to slaughter us all, you included.
So really, there's a whole lot more lives on the line. But even if it was just one, we need to know what you know.
I do believe you that you've come from our dear sheriff, but not that I've heard of. I do have a lot of other information though, so maybe that's why you were sent here.
Well, start talking.
I mean, do you know what type of supernatural elements you're up against?
Oh, where to start? You know what, Lorraine? My potentially new favorite person. Are you particularly knowledgeable about mages, sorcerers, mortals, not your kind and my kind?
What would I roll to determine that?
Intelligence and occult difficulty 8.
Is your character just made of occult knowledge, L?
Not entirely.
Oh, there's some perception in there.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Okay, so to reiterate on earlier disseminated information, a mage is what happens when a human somehow, it's not understood to those outside, awakens and gets contact with magic power. I'm sure if we let Jeremy talk, we'd be here until 4 a.m.
Yes.
But the
They
basics.
realize that the laws of reality are less laws and more guidelines.
They can literally alter reality through magic.
Yes.
Like guidelines and actual rules.
I have encountered a couple of these individuals over my years, yes.
We have
none of them local, to be fair. These were quite a distance away, back towards more home.
Fair enough.
You know
We
the
have
name Flambeau?
Hmm?
Do you know the name Flambeau?
Does that ring a bell?
Same check.
Okay. And 8 again?
9.
9.
There.
Still got 2 of them. Sorry, it would be 1 unless you have a specialization, because there was a 1 in there.
Don't believe Lorraine has a specialization in occult. Do you?
Nope.
Okay. So 1 success.
That's more than any of us got.
What you know is that Flambeau was the name of a house, or what would easily be considered a clan amongst your kind of mortal mages.
From memory, they were one of the houses of mages, but not much more than that I can recall off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Okay, fair enough. It was worth checking.
You remain here. Please don't steal anything. But I do need to check something. I shall return.
I-
And that is where we will take our break.
all right.
We will be back in a few minutes, everybody.
And And we're back.
And we're back. All right. So, Lorraine, you left for a moment,
Yep.
and everybody else has been left alone in the shop. Austin had to step away for the evening. He was not feeling well, and we hope he recovers quick and is back with us next week.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Physical health comes first.
Oh. Despite her extreme curiosity, Kat is not touching shit right now.
Never know what might explode.
Exactly. You don't fuck around in another blood magic users area.
Simon is very much looking around, not really touching any of it, but just looking at what's actually visible. It's not, and now paying even more attention for anything that's related to mages.
Mercy's reading the titles of books, but not really doing much beyond that.
Okay. There are a few random odds and ends books. A bunch of like some of them are tourism books about New Orleans and ghosts in the area. There are some of them that are like The Hunter's Guide to Hunting Vampires, or just random occult books you would find in any generic bookstore.
Right.
Fair. So, first impressions, what do we think of this person?
Evasive.
Very.
I think that's just the Toreador thing, or
You mean a Tremere thing?
Tremere thing. Sorry.
I'm the dramatic one.
No.
They're the evasive ones. Get it right.
No offense, Mercy. I've been dealing with Toreador fuckery all day, so
Yeah, try my entire life.
yes, that is fair.
On life, but
No, because the fuckery is from the sister, so
Mm.
it is the entire
No.
life.
Everybody give me perception and alertness, difficulty 6.
Simon says to no one. Just another sign of Malkavian madness.
Yeah.
Perception alertness.
Yes.
Yep. Difficulty 6.
Oh.
6 successes.
Oh,
Simon has heightened senses on constantly.
nice.
He
So
basically just never turns it off.
Simon, you will find it much quicker and a lot easier than the other group, or the other two. As you are walking around, you spot, and it's very nicely done because it's very inconspicuous, but right in the center of an empty part of the floor, which is very rare for this entire shop, set in the ground is a single iron ring with a small, almost looks like attachment through it.
Simon, while contemplating what it might be, which is there a role for that? We'll also call the other two over to
Give me actually you don't have to roll. It's you're old enough. You've been around enough. That looks like a cellar door handle.
Okay. Like, hey, you two. There appears to be a cellar door handle here. Which seems
Fair
odd for
enough.
New Orleans.
How long has it been at this point since our host asked for a moment?
Well, L, about how long would it have been at this point?
It'd be getting like 10 minutes ish at the very least.
So not a situation where we went out for a pack of smokes, never came back.
No.
Not yet.
But it's like you can see the size of the store. It's like, well, there's not really much
Right.
room.
It's like, is it one of those things where like you work retail and so they ask you to go check the back? So you go stand in a room for 10 minutes,
Yeah, Cat's gonna be like,
fuck off, and then like come back. It's like, sorry, don't have it.
And just try to like calm the bloodlust that every retail employee should be legally entitled to.
exactly. About at the 10-minute mark, actually. That makes sense. Cat's gonna be like, all right, straightens up, goes wherever it was, like towards the back, where Lorraine went, and just opening the door and heading back there.
The one in the floor? Or
If that's the way that Lorraine went.
Whichever way Lorraine went.
which would have been L, would you have gone to a back room?
It would have been hard to see with the mess.
But I know the general direction.
Yeah,
at least.
yeah.
Yes, that direction.
So
Is that toward the trap door or
that is
somewhere
toward
else?
the trap door.
Yeah.
I am looking for Lorraine.
So as all of you look through the shop, she seems to be just have fucking vanished.
The only thing in the area being that trap door.
Mm-hmm.
Simon ever get a response from Alex?
No, not yet.
He's still in a daze.
Yep. No, that is fair.
You got 10 minutes left. on that daze.
Lorraine, just speaking out loud, raised voice. If you haven't run off, please come out, because I'm going to hate to have to hunt you down and throw. Keep in mind, saying this, if I have to hunt you down, that you are your useless head into the Gulf of Mexico.
She'll do it too. I've seen it.
Simon just quietly mutters, like it's some type of meme. I was there. It was my head that got thrown in. Not out loud, just like muttering under his breath as he continues to just look around.
I mean, is there a response to that?
Would I even hear it if I've turned off the heightened senses at this point?
No.
So no response.
All right, there's only one place that I can see where don't know how they got, but I'm going for the trap door.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Simon is make sure to step well away from the trap door.
Well, I've got
No
your
offense, but this is a Tremere. I don't want to be anywhere near something that might happen.
Neither do I, but
Here we are.
Cat, I've got your 6. It's fine.
thank you.
Joker meme. And here we
Yep.
go.
You wrench open that trapdoor.
Find 35 people in the basement.
There is a set of stairs down to a darkened room with light in the distance.
Down I go.
Right behind you.
Simon's about 5 feet behind them.
Trying
Hell,
really.
Please describe this room.
So, in a very stark contrast to the upstairs, this is like medically grade clean, basically. Just all perfectly, like exactly everything in its place. And this is like the antechamber type deal, or
Yeah.
yeah. So there is a small bookcase with like very nice looking books, and a shelf full of what look like handwritten like journals. And yeah, that's a large part of what this room is. Just like storage of little things and a bookcase.
Checking the bookcase.
Also looking at the bookcase.
Does tunk 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 tunk.
Check which book is the hidden lever.
Uh-huh.
Is there a candlestick attached to the wall?
No.
Oh, damn
Put the candle back.
it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Simon's looking at the bookcase, looking for anything that looks like it might be Tremere related, like directly, or mage related.
Yeah, they're all actual books, so it's not like one's on a hidden lever switch deal, but they are like first edition copies of like the actual real like supernatural stuff. So yeah, there would be a fair amount of useful information rather than here's how to track like the ghosts of alligators.
Right. I just look back. If we have to kill this one, dibs. Pointing at the books, not at the not on the killing.
Can I at least read them first, or at some point?
Maybe we'll see. Lorraine, you down here?
I just start knocking on walls, pushing bookcases.
That one you will hear.
So I will stop what I've been doing and try to make my way back out. I assume I encounter them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
What is the egress method? Is there a door, or is it like a wall opens, or?
I think it's a wall opening.
Or does she just fucking walk through walls? Like,
No, wall opens.
okay.
It's Tremere. It could just be an illusionary wall to walk through it.
I did ask you, what are you doing here?
We haven't stolen anything. You said not to steal anything.
You didn't say
You
not
said
to come after
nothing
you.
about. You said nothing about not going to any particular place.
That's
Simon's
the
just-
lawyer part I like.
Simon's just reading one of the books.
Please put those back.
Are
thank
you-
I thought this was a shop.
Upstairs is the shop, yes.
And this would be what?
Mine.
Your
Abs-
what?
This is a mine. Should we get
No,
a pickaxe?
these books are mine.
Yes, they are.
They are not for sale or public perusal or anything else. And I am afraid at this point I have to ask you to leave. Being quite improprietous.
We came in, with all due respect, Lorraine. We came in on a job assigned to us by the sheriff. We asked you information. You asked for a moment. You left. It's been many dozens of moments now. I called out for you upstairs. I heard nothing, so my only option at that point was to find you. Now
I
we
need
have.
perception and alertness checks, difficulty 7 from everyone except for Lorraine.
As another Ghoul-Gator shows up.
Yes.
Pray to God.
So that being able to find ghosts of alligators.
Oh shit.
So Simon, you will hear a voice coming from behind where Lorraine is standing, which is in between you guys and whatever door she came out of. A higher pitched feminine scream.
Yeah, look. I know that you're on the job, so I have the information
Simon
that you
will
need.
turn sharply and tell Lorraine to be quiet, and for the other two to listen.
No, there's no need to worry. Look, you might be looking for one of the La Sombra, I believe, and you probably would be best served going through the St. Louis Cemetery.
Simon pulls out a stake and tells Lorraine to be quiet again.
There is another scream. This one is less loud vocalization and more help.
Question, Lorraine. First of all, thank you for all that information. Who is that?
Just looking back.
You can speak now.
Well, I don't want to be anywhere near that stake, so you can understand my apprehension.
Simon puts
That
it
is
away.
fair. You can speak.
It's nothing that anyone here needs to be concerned about. I have your information. You can go now.
And I thank you for that information. I will be perfectly blunt with you right now. And perhaps even give you some privileged information. As things currently stand, there is a Sabbat incursion upon this city, including a Methuselah, someone very close to the clan founder. And if we do not stop this, the founder of Clan La Sombra themselves will be arriving in this city and murdering everyone, probably including you. That being the case, well, if you're just torturing some random woman back there for your magical experiments, I don't care. But we need to know who it is because it could be that you are working for the enemy. And that could be somebody that we need. That's why I need to know.
Never work with those misguided lunatics.
We don't know anything about you, Lorraine.
Well, a good relationship starts with trust, and hopefully I've been helpful with the information and you can leave.
We're vampires. We don't trust. I don't trust any of my friends here, and they shouldn't trust me.
Nope.
There is a higher pitched masculine voice.
Simon
I will push. I will.
steps into the way of the doorway and hollers, "We hear you. Stop now."
I will free. I will inflict rigor mortis on you and walk right past you into that room, unless you're upfront with me.
I'm going to move like more properly into the doorway and sort of bar their way. No, I'm afraid I must be quite insistent.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
Lorraine.
I'm real sorry right now.
Upon the declaration of "I'm sorry," Simon pulls the stake back out.
Oh no, that was me.
Oh, okay.
There, Cat isn't sorry.
I thought it was like that fake sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm
That's
going
what
to do this.
I'm going to try to rigor mortis.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your roll associated with that.
Yep, it is I spend a willpower point and I roll intelligence plus medicine.
Is the difficulty based on the target stats of some kind?
No, it's just a straight diff 7.
Hmm.
Hold on, spend my willpower. Rigor mortis. What? No, wait, that's broken because it should not be a 0 occult. Oh no, because it's medicine and I don't have medicine. Never mind. That's legit. That's legit. It did not succeed.
Yeah. So
So-
you
Oh, good.
you cut your hand, you say some words.
Yep.
You point at Lorraine and nothing.
Fucking Tremere. I'm assuming it's some kind of counter magic thing. That's what Cat assumes for their own competency.
So
Simon goes for a
I'm
stake.
going to
then.
try and use a command on Cat then.
Okay,
Okay.
that's legit.
Just like very fixed stare, just leave.
Okay. What's your
And-
generation?
I think it's 12.
It wouldn't work if your generation is
Ye-
below 10.
It automatically fails.
That's the domination crux. You have to be higher gen. So leave. Blink, blink, blink. And Cat, for the moment, showing the younger vampire that she is, slowly raises a hand.
Simon goes for staking.
Okay.
This escalated quickly.
Yeah.
see, I was trying to get in here with some persuasion and intimidation, but if you want to go for staking and rigor mortis, okay, go the fuck ahead.
Strength and melee difficulty 9.
Or
Dex melee to hit, and then you have to use strength to get the damage in.
You have to deal at least 3 points of damage.
2 successes.
So you get 4 strength plus 4
Okay.
because stakes 1.
Strength.
It's
Strength 2.
strength plus. It'd be strength plus 2.
You're right. You're right.
I have a counter to this or anything.
What's the
Yeah,
difficulty?
I
on
mean,
this?
you can
Is it just some-
potentially use dodge on these anymore. No,
4d10. 8.
you will have a
sickness, 8.
soak.
Yes, you can try and soak that. Otherwise, it will actually stake you because that's enough damage.
So I believe you roll your.
I don't remember how dodging and
God,
shit like
yeah.
that works in V20.
Well, I'm trying more like grab the wrist and
Yeah,
try to block it physically rather than getting out of the way.
Oh yeah. So block would be you're using up your action for the round, so you wouldn't be able to do anything on your turn if we enter initiative. To roll, I think it's dexterity and brawl to try, and every success you make reduces their successes.
Okay, and if I can do that then.
Yep.
And I think I have an applicable specialty.
Which specialty?
In brawl.
Probably.
Yep.
So that adds 1.
No, it's in old world. It's if you roll a 10, it counts as 2 successes.
Point of order. This is lethal damage, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It sounds a lot scarier than it is, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you have fortitude or are you wearing armor?
No.
You cannot block.
Well, they can't soak. They can try and block the attack from hitting them because the block goes against the attack roll rather than against the damage roll.
That's worded weird because it says lethal and aggravated attacks cannot be blocked.
Should say soak, shouldn't it? Hang on.
Oh, I'm
it's
looking at the actual
block.
combat maneuver block.
Oh, is it? Okay. Then maybe you just can't.
But-
That's a weird book. Fair enough.
You do get to soak the damage, which I need to look up how to do.
By the looks of
Stamina
it-
plus any fortitude, if 6.
Block is specifically for like hand to hand,
Oh yeah, that
and
makes
because I'm
sense.
attacking it with a weapon.
That makes sense.
Okay. I see what they're saying. Like you can't like put your forearms up to block the sword coming down at you.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. So this would actually be they could instead try to dodge or parry.
Okay.
Which would be Dex. I think it's athletics at this.
Yeah, Dex
point.
Athletics is dodge and Dex Melee is parry.
So you can take either one of those two actions.
And if you do, then
try to parry then.
so yeah.
So that'd be Dex and Melee, difficulty 6.
And any success you take takes one success off of the attack.
Can't parry requires a weapon though.
Yes, you do need something to parry with usually. Although I would say if it's a wooden stake, you might be able to parry with your hands just using the same skill set.
Didn't you grab a book?
Now Simon had a book in his hand, and then set it back down.
But I think that one's up to the storyteller, but I
Yeah.
feel like you can probably parry
I-
a stake with your hands.
I will allow it. I will allow it.
Yeah. So that would be 2.
Which
So
would
that
make it
would
a
mean
miss.
it was no success. The
Yeah.
stake, you blocked the stake.
So Simon goes to lunge in for that, for the impalement, and Lorraine just sort of slaps his hand to the side really quickly, right before the point of impact. I need everyone to roll initiative.
I'm in a different initiative.
Yeah, you are in a much worse initiative.
Okay, y'all are gonna have to remind me how to do this.
It is wits plus dexterity.
You
Or
roll
no,
a
it's
D10 and add your
D10
wits and dexterity
plus
to it.
wits plus dex. Yeah.
Instead of rolling extra dice, you just add the values to the result.
But yeah,
Okay.
there's initiative. There's actually an initiative on the dice section about midway down.
Okay, let me look.
That tracks.
Oh, hi, look at that.
Right, is not ready.
Difficulty what?
It doesn't have a
There's
difficulty.
no
You just roll
difficulty.
it.
It just rolls a d10 and adds the number.
No, I think this populated the last.
It did. It won't let me.
Okay.
It did, but we can update them.
Yeah,
I rolled a 15.
15. Guire's not in this fight. Why did I put that there? Mercy rolled a 15. Cat rolled a 13. You're not here. Bad turn. Drag you over here. Add turn. And so Mercy got a 15. Lorraine got a 6. Simon got a 14. And D7. Okay.
Mercy still reads 14.
Yeah.
Probably didn't hit enter. That's on me. All right, so Mercy, you have the floor.
as far as like attacks or just conversation?
For-
Whatever you want to do. You have 6 seconds. I actually think it's 3 seconds in World of Darkness, but
Yeah, WAD is 3 seconds.
Lorraine, what can you tell us? Seriously. I'm going to give you an opportunity before one of these two goes at you physically again. Just talk. It'll be much easier.
Okay, that's your turn.
I assume I'm waiting for my turn to do any responding.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so Simon.
Does World of Darkness have readying in action?
You can hold an action, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Simon will hold, trying to stake Lorraine again. To see
Okay.
if Lorraine will respond to Mercy first.
Cat.
I am going to look. What's good for the Tremere is good for the Giovanni. Except for I can make it work because generation. I am going to try and catch Lorraine's eyes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your dominate.
Yep. And I'm going to use Dominate 2 so I can use a full sentence. Which is Mesmerize, I believe, is the power name. Yes. And specifically, I'm going to say let us through.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend a willpower point on this for auto success. Oh, wait. Sorry. What's your willpower? Primary sheet, down towards the bottom. In the center, it says humanity path and then willpower.
5.
5. I rolled it 6.
It's the same result.
Yeah. So 4 successes.
Correct. So success for the record on this is number of successes determines how well the suggestion takes hold in the subconscious. At 3 or 4 successes, the command is effective unless following it endangers the subject. Like specifically directly endangers.
Like
walking into fire.
Yeah, like walk into that bonfire or shoot yourself. That requires 5 successes.
I was about to say, for those of you playing along at home, you need one more success for
Well,
that.
you can't force them to shoot themselves. You can make them walk into danger.
Yes,
Because,
true,
under that, no
legit.
matter how strong the Kinder's will, his command cannot force the subject to harm herself directly or defy her innate nature.
I think until you get to much higher points in dominate.
Yeah, like when you get like 7 or 8 successes, I feel like as a storyteller, it don't matter.
Yeah. So anyways, Rain, that suggestion implants in your head, which the sentence was
let us through. And that's all I'm doing, because that's my action. I'm not trying to move aggressively, anything like that.
Okay. Lorraine, it is your turn.
So I'm going to step aside a little bit as like sort of unconsciously, like just doing it as I'm looking at Mercy and just going, look, I've told you everything I know. That's what you asked. And just leaving the doorway open.
Okay.
Okay. Are you doing anything else on your turn?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay, Mercy, it is your turn.
So I am going to walk. I'll go past her. I'll go past Lorraine and go through the entryway.
Okay. Lorraine, please describe what she sees.
Similarly to the previous room, this is like impeccably neat. It's a very like alchemical laboratory setup, and in one corner of the room is a large steel cage, like just very thick bars.
And in the large steel cage?
Currently,
yeah,
one older woman, probably between late 30s, early 40s, and a what looks to be not quite child, not quite teenage boy.
Preteen.
Mm-hmm.
Can I approach them, or have I used all my actions?
I think you could cover the distance.
I approach them. I have my hands up, saying, "I'm here to help. I mean you no harm."
Okay. Simon, it's your turn.
Simon looks back at Kat. It's like, do I still try to stop them?
Light shrug.
Simon shrugs in response and just puts the stick away for now.
Okay. Pat, what are you doing?
I am walking right. I am also going into the room because I'm very curious now. See this whole thing? I'm like, okay,
This wasn't so severe. You had to keep it from us. Like, come on.
I just shout back. Well, not say back through the door. Are either of these people involved in our situation? Our war situation? I guess that's it.
Okay. Lorraine, it is your turn to talk.
We all know that our blood can do a lot of things, and it just it doesn't work on the kind. So yes, I did find that there were people that disappeared, and I did go and get a couple, but I needed it for my experiments. And sometimes I am sure you all know that sometimes you get hungry.
So these are mortals.
I'm moving into the room and like circling around the edges.
Okay. Mercy. Getting closer, you can see that both of their eyes are red.
Like iris red or like red from like crying?
Iris red.
I can't remember if I can play mind games or not.
Do you have dominate?
I don't think so. Can I read their auras?
Yes. That'll be perception and empathy difficulty 8, reduced by your aspects, which is 2, so difficulty 6.
Wait, my aspect. Is it? That was 3.
Is it 3? Okay, difficulty 5. Two successes. Well, the first thing that immediately pops out is you can tell that they are scared. That's a thing I completely forgot. So bright orange. But the thing that you notice is even though it's bright orange, it is pale.
Which is vampire.
Vampire.
I turn to Cat. They're not quite mortal anymore.
Okay. Are we still in initiative at this point?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
So Simon, it is your turn.
Simon walks in the room and just kind of like stays on edge, and it's like they're not mortal. And like again, aura reads, like looks at the aura of character
Lorraine.
name Lorraine. Yes, looks at the aura of Lorraine.
So the one thing you're now noticing, having taken a second to look, you're not sure how you missed it the first time, are those black flashes firing off through her aura.
By being hungry, you're feeding on kindred.
Oh,
Did you turn these people to feed on them?
there is a long string of very foul Italian.
So that's Cat's turn.
Yes, that is the entirety of Cat's turn.
And Lorraine, it is your turn.
Have I been able to find anything like behind my back?
Yep.
So I would like to try the ritual of burning blade.
That one takes 10 minutes.
Does it?
Rituals take a lot longer than just spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it didn't the other one said specifically it took a time. This one didn't.
Some of them take a lot longer, but a baseline ritual, I think it takes it's either a minute or 10 minutes per dot level of the ritual. One sec. Rituals at the casting ritual. One success. Should a roll fail? Require special ingredients. Unless stated otherwise, a ritual requires 5 minutes per level to cast.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm just gonna go for Simon with a scalpel or whatever I've managed to grab.
Okay. Yeah. So that will be Dex and melee, difficulty 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because I particularly said that Simon's still on edge, can I parry it?
You still have the stake in your hand, so yes.
So I need Dex melee.
That would be your action for the next round. Take away your action for the next round, though.
Okay.
Oh.
So that is actually 0 successes.
You wouldn't even need to parry it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Lunging
in
from the
a
corner.
really swift motion, those of you who are looking at her can see her grab for a scalpel and go at Simon, which he sidesteps. Mercy, it is your turn.
Are the people in the cage coherent besides being able to scream? Like, can they talk?
Yes.
Mercy's gonna ask them, who are you? Where are you from? What happened?
While a fight's going on in the background.
The mom will respond, or the older woman will respond. My name is Cynthia. I'm from Florida. We were visiting here to just see Mardi Gras, and this is my son Matthew, and we have no idea what's actually going on. And it is Simon's turn.
It's a couple of kind that she just sort of grabbed off the street to turn and experiment
Simon
on.
goes for a stake to the heart, spending a willpower this time. 2 successes.
Okay.
You did already use your action to parry.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
that is correct. My bad. Cat, it is your
Yep.
turn.
Mercy's got the Mercy's got the
Oh, wait, no,
younglings thing.
you didn't. You didn't need to because it missed.
Yeah, he.
All right,
Brain
I
missed, so
Fair
my
enough,
brain
fair.
completely missed that.
So
That is correct. Okay. So 2 successes. You, Lorraine, you can attempt to parry, but you will forfeit your action for the next turn. In doing so.
I think I've just overextended myself, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to
Okay.
think of parrying, to be fair.
All right. So, Simon, you have 2 successes. Please roll your damage.
So it's the 2 successes plus my strength.
Well,
Yes.
it's the 1 extra success, so it's your strength plus 2
Okay.
because the stake adds an extra 1.
So, well, I spent a willpower, so I have 2 successes.
Oh yes, you have that's what I mean. 1 success
Okay.
gets you the hit. 1 extra gets you an extra die on the damage.
Yep.
So it's strength plus stake of 1 plus extra success of 1, so strength plus 2.
Okay. 40, 10, 7, and a 9.
2 damage.
It's not going to do it.
And vampires can soak lethal, yeah?
Yes.
They can soak, yes.
Which is
'Cause
your
it's still, yeah.
stamina. Difficulty
Stamina
6.
of that,
Just
yeah.
just your raw stamina, unless you have fortitude, which I don't think you do because you're a Tremere, but
I have a feeling this isn't going to work out too well, but
2 damage becomes 1 damage.
So you get a little, just the tip of the, just the tip of the stake.
just the tip. Got it.
All right. So Lorraine, it
One
is your
lethal.
turn. Take 1 lethal, please. Yes.
Sorry, it's Cat's turn specifically, actually.
Oh yeah, you right.
Yeah, Mercy's got the newbie situation under control for the moment. Let me see if is there anything else in, I mean, this is an experiment room. So is there anything big and heavy?
Lorraine?
that can be used as, to beat
bludgeoning
someone
device?
with.
I mean, there'd probably be like a centrifuge or whatever it's called. It's the blood spinny thing.
Right. So it's about
Like,
Yep.
Sovig around. Just
Yeah,
grab
it's like-
onto one end of it and just whoosh.
It has and they have a power cord, so it's just a big flail.
Now, I am not great at fighting, but
Bodges and slams it.
Cat is annoyed enough. I'm going to spend a blood point to bump up my dexterity.
Dex and melee.
And then dex melee, yep. That brings me down. Do I have dex melee on this?
Improvised
This
weapons
will
are
work.
usually just bashing damage, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. What difficulty?
Base.
Just base difficulty.
Not bad.
3 successes.
Damn.
So that'll be
So that'll be 2, right? 2
yeah.
successes plus strength, and then I have potent. So there's 1 automatic success to this.
Okay.
That's how potence works. All right.
Yep, yeah. Potence is just auto successes to any strength related roll.
That makes it really easy to stake someone if you've got a lot of potence.
That's why you worry about the brouhaha with the stake.
You don't worry about the brouhaha with the gun. You worry about the brouhaha with the stake.
So that will be 3 because ones don't take off successes on damage rolls.
Yep, that's correct.
So that's 3 damage.
3 bashing damage to
Bashing.
soak with your 1 stamina.
I have a feeling that will not go well, but
You soak 1 of it.
you are rolling
Whack!
consistent on that. Yeah, so everybody who's looking, which I believe is just Simon and unfortunately Lorraine, sees Cat just one hand a centrifuge upside Lorraine's head.
And then just from that spin, just sort of dumps it off to the side. She just wanted to get the 1 shot in because she's really annoyed right now. And now she's going to let Simon deal with that problem. She's going to let Mercy deal with that problem. And she's going to stand in the center and just let whatever happens, happens.
Okay. So Lorraine, it is now your turn.
Just smack. Okay, I'm done now.
I mean, to be honest, smacking somebody with a centrifuge really sounds very cathartic.
Right?
Especially if you spin it.
Like turn it on and swing it. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm going to change tactics then and go for Cat. I'm going to try the Blood Rage.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh boy.
You had someone out of the fight. They're about to rejoin the fight.
I still just like moments like that. Jeremy's reactions.
I don't know exactly how it works though.
You roll. It is
All thaumaturgy rules are baseline going to be
intelligence,
spend a
occult.
blood point and make a willpower
willpower
roll
roll.
against a difficulty equal to the power's level plus 3.
Yes.
So for blood rage, it'll be difficulty 5.
So
A
willpower,
willpower
diff
roll
5.
diff 5.
And you spend a blood point.
Each success forces the subject to spend 1 blood point immediately in the way the caster desires, which must go towards some logical expenditure the target vampire could make, such as increasing physical attributes or using disciplines. So
That's-
How am I spending 2
yeah,
blood points?
Cat immediately spends 2 blood points the way that you want them to.
So the things that you can spend blood points on that I can do, because healing potentially, but I'm not hurt. I could raise my strength by 1 for each blood point, my dexterity by 1 for each blood point, stamina by 1 for each blood point. Mix of that, so it could be strength 1, stamina 1, etc. I don't think I actually have any
powers that spend blood.
I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think any of the. Well, that's not true. There are some of the necromancy ones that allow it, or that require it. I think. Let me see. Not that. I don't know how that would work in terms of forcing me to do it, but technically summon soul is one.
Rigor mortis uses willpower, not blood, so can't force that one.
Correct. And I don't think you want to, because I'll just use it on you. The Gray's Decay, but I would have to have a corpse nearby, and it just means it destroys it. And Sepultura doesn't work because there aren't any ghosts in this area right now. So basically, spend on my physical stats, or try to summon a ghost.
Each success also increases the subject's difficulty to resist frenzy by 1.
Yes,
if whatever you do causes them to frenzy.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm just going to bump up your dex then.
Okay.
Does that seem innocuous
gone up
enough?
to 5.
That's
So
correct.
I feel blood and I get angry. Oh, you just made the last mistake of your own life.
I'm sorry. Fantastic line. Oh. All right. Mercy.
Elle, was this your plan going in?
Hey, kind of.
It would not surprise me. I will point out a certain snake PC related PC from Breakverse.
Yep.
Mercy is just going to look at the chaos behind her and look to the people in front of her, the 2 probably very frightened people in front of her, and position herself in such a way that most of the chaos is not visible to them.
Okay. You can do that.
And say, this does not concern you. This is not your fault. It will be over soon. I hope.
Hopeful and ominous. I love it. All right. Simon, it is your turn.
Simon's going to try to stick Lorraine in the back this time.
Oh yeah, because they turned to face
Yeah.
Cat. So you get an extra 2 dice in this attack.
And gonna spend another willpower.
Oh, the willpower.
Can I
Simon
just
doesn't use willpower very much.
Can I just say, as a spectator to this, not Katie, not Mercy, like, oh my god,
6 successes.
Shit.
Are you going to dodge, or is Lorraine not paying enough attention?
No, I am very distracted.
So that is strength plus 5. Or
I think this might hurt.
No, strength plus 6, because it was 6 total successes, and there's an extra 1 from the stake.
Yep. Strength plus 6.
So 8d10.
Yep, that's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. You cannot not be staked.
Yep. So Mercy throws herself up.
Oh, sorry,
Sort of.
6 damage.
Against the cage as best as she can, right before Cat says you just made the worst mistake of your unlife, and then just stake through the back. As Lorraine goes rigid and falls.
Yep.
Yes.
I feel like I don't know if it's frenzy bad, but I do feel I could even make a self-control roll right now.
For it.
Don't.
Difficulty 7.
Oh, okay. Let me bump that up by one.
Self-control roll to not curb stomp.
Okay. Yep. Phew. There is a moment where
Notably, would the increased difficulty from Blood Fury apply here?
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
That would make it diff 9.
Oh God.
So you failed.
Okay.
Good. Embrace the dark side.
So
Loving this World War.
come on, that's it. Thank you. She is just gonna she's gonna stalk up to the stake Tremere and just start curb stomping
Until there's just a puddle.
until someone stops her or there is no more Tremere.
Simon will, because it's now too much emotion, and will demontation you.
Mercy's not moving.
This is too much emotion being displayed. Calm down. Magically.
So what's humanity rating?
Not good, Bob. 4.
4. Okay. Charisma, empathy, difficulty 4. 4 successes.
Okay.
You're chilled out for the next week.
Yeah, so that
I'm aware of what that is, what happened, right?
kinda emotions don't just flip like
Yeah.
a switch. So Cat starts curb stomping and then just
It does notably, I have to talk to him. It's like, okay, Cat, you can curb stomp them some more later when you're more
there's
in control.
instant calm. Look back at you. 2 things. Thank you. And you can turn that off at some point, right?
If I can, I will.
Good enough. And I'm pulling out my phone and I'm calling Destiny.
he goes 2 rings. Cat, what can I do for you tonight?
So I have some news for you. We spoke with the person that you asked us to speak with.
Lorraine, yeah.
It was a Lasombra. That's literally the only information we know.
Well, you also got a location to check.
Yes, and a place to check. We will go check there when we have a chance. All that said, I have some unfortunate information to pass along, which is this waste of good vitae is decided to has apparently been snatching at least some people off the streets, embracing them, I'm assuming without permission from the prince, and occasionally eating them.
I would like to pretend that I did not just hear the sentence I think I heard. Unfortunately, my station does not allow for that.
There is a stake in her right now. She is in the basement of her shop. There are two very young kindred here behind bars.
In a cage, Mercy yells.
Yes, in a cage. I
It-
trust you can clean up this whole situation.
Yeah, you guys head to whatever point you need to check next, and I will head immediately to the Strangeatorium.
Thank you.
You hear him do that thing where you cover the phone and talk to somebody.
Yep. I hang up. Situation resolved. We can go continue to investigate. We can leave all this here.
I need
Yes, ma'am.
everybody to roll me perception and alertness difficulty 6. Good old buddy Simon.
It's almost like constant heightened senses are useful.
Okay,
Ooh.
Kat and Simon, you both start just sort of taking in the scene, and there is one bottle of something on a shelf that catches your eye. It is a crystalline bottle. It almost looks like those old perfume bottles with the glass topper. But the liquid inside is moving and red.
Like moving of its own accord.
Yes, like it shimmers every once in a while, like it's moving.
Simon kind of investigate it without touching it, like just kind of looking at it, mulling over what it might be.
Yeah, it's in its own little window with a study door.
Is there a roll to see if Simon has any idea what it could be?
Give
same.
me both of you give me intelligence and occult difficulty 9.
Okay.
Successes.
Intelligence occult difficulty 9. 1. Oh wait, why are there 2? Why is there plus? I don't know. Oh, because I had put 2 modifiers in there for a previous roll. I am angry right now. Well, I'm not angry anymore,
It's
but
like you're
I'm
not
still
angry.
distracted,
Yep.
You want to be angry, but you can't be angry.
which just makes me angrier.
There are not necessarily legends, but whisperings of important artifacts to kindred kind. And these artifacts can do a number of things. There's artifacts that could keep blood for a long time. You've seen those. Agony has a flask. But there was. You're not sure where you read it, but there is a very sought after sort of elixir known to kindred kind. And if you guys are in possession of it, to put it simply, you would have hit the mother lode.
Simon, with aura perception, just asks Lorraine if that's what this is.
Do we have a name on that elixir?
Can you respond in?
Lorraine can't speak. Lorraine is staked and thus paralyzed.
I'm looking at aura though for a
I'm
reaction.
trying
to
to
the
see if
aura.
there are
Oh,
response.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
Because they are still aware while they're staked.
Yep. Unless they enter torpor, but that's not the situation now.
You got a long minute for that. There is a flash of we're going to go with red.
Oh my.
Anger. Like, was it angry before I asked the question?
No.
Okay.
No, it was bitter before the question.
Ah, okay.
He just wanted you people to leave.
Yep.
It seems like it very well could be that.
Sorry, what?
Do we have a name on this elixir and or what it does?
It is right off the tip of Simon's tongue. He can't remember it.
Simon kind of vaguely describes what the elixir does.
So, what this potion can do to just sort of, I will go ahead and rip back the sticker here. What you guys have found is a let me 100% get the wording correctly. A concoction of vitality. For those of you who, as Simon says that name out loud, you guys can roll intelligence and occult difficulty 8 because a name was given to it.
Fuck me. There we go. There's a good roll. Fucking finally.
Cat. Mercy has no idea.
Damn it.
Cat. That's liquid gold.
Uh-huh.
For 24 hours, you can walk as a human. That is either a blessing or a curse in a bottle.
Oh, shit.
Cat does not express that yet.
No, that was just Katie saying, oh,
Yeah.
shit. That was not Percy.
Cat just walks over, takes the bottle, takes the thing, walks over, stands over Lorraine so Lorraine can see her with the bottle. Not yours anymore. We will talk. We will deal with this. I looked at that. We will deal with this later. Let's go.
So there is, of course, a chorus of "Please don't go, please help us" from the newly made kindred in the
Help is on
cell.
the way.
Yeah, somebody who's coming who will be able to help you. Cat is assuming that they're going to die, but they don't. She doesn't say that.
It's just start to the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 3, right?
Yes. So as you guys exit, Destiny is pulling up in the first time you've actually seen his truck. Usually he just sort of jumps from seemingly nowhere.
He doesn't jump from the roof this time?
No.
Good sheriff.
Okay.
It's all downstairs.
You got a direction. This place is like...
I'm assuming they left the doors open.
Yeah.
Simon lays out a very specific path. It's like, it is 35 feet forward, 10 feet to the left.
Sometimes
down a set of stairs.
Sometimes your attention to detail scares me. Other times it is highly useful. This is one of those times. You will just...
Yeah. The fledglings are still in their cage.
Good.
They
Good.
don't seem to have any idea what's going on or anything like that. Lorraine is staked.
Their names are Cynthia and Matthew. They're from Florida. They're tourists here for Mardi Gras. It's a mother and her son.
Well, unfortunately, they're going to probably either be long-term residents or long-term residents.
They're not going back to Florida.
I
Which,
just-
granted, is probably a bonus.
as Mercy will say, I just needed somebody to say their name.
That is fair.
Cynthia and Matthew. Got it. Thank you. And he will make his way downstairs.
Yep. Let's go. Should somebody should somebody contact Guire at this point, because it has been a little bit more than a usual.
I feel like that, like Wire's leaving everything on red right now.
Yes, but we should at least try.
We need to find out if Guire is alive to get back to you on that.
Yep.
Simon responds, "Yes, we should," and sends Squire another text, like update on the payload.
So as our camera switches back to Guire, Alexei steps into the overturned U-Haul.
And the instant his foot touches ground inside the U-Haul.
Yep.
There's a small surge of blood from the ground towards him. I need to roll willpower diff 6, and he needs to roll stamina and fortitude diff 6, which I'm assuming he has plenty of fortitude being a Ventrue, but we're gonna try. Get less than 2 successes, please.
Okay, what does your thing do?
What did he? I need to know because his. Okay, so it doesn't last long. As I spend 3 blood.
Oof.
So for the next, because the number of successes that I have net determines how long it lasts. I think it's just the next turn with only 1 success. Which means I need to kill this man fast. With 1 success, for the next turn, he loses 3 stamina.
Okay. So he just...
So as he steps forward, the blood on the rune rushes up to grasp him, and as it takes hold, Guire just goes, "Now!" and starts going forward with the blade.
Okay. And that is where we will end for the week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Adios.
Good.
Bye.